Hello everybody, I'm Meteor, and in today's video we have our third team builder here in Loomian Legacy. Now, this week's star of the team is this new Loomian Cosmiore, and it's here in its third form. As you know, they have three forms. So we have Plunderer the Cosmiore. The interesting thing about this Loomian, it has the ability Surrogate. This is the secret ability of Dorigo, however... That's not meant to be there. However, Dorigo's stats, they aren't really that great, so it's really hard to abuse Surrogate with it. However, we got Roamer stats with this thing, and so we're going to abuse the crap out of Surrogate here. That's the whole theme of this team. This is the Toolbox team, and here we have the Plunderer. So, like I said, the theme of this team is just to provide this thing with some broken abilities and see what it can do. The moveset being Meteor, Smash, Cerebral, Slash, just being dual stab. Hypnotize and Bulk Up. Hypnotize and Bulk Up to help set it up. And then the set here, 160 speed, outspeed stuff like outspeeds Spreezy, outspeeding very smart Shachi. So that's what this is for. Max attack to hit as hard as possible. 20 energy lets us throw off 5 Meteor Smashes, and then 120 is the remainder there. And so, yeah, then we have a bunch of things with, here we have Predator the Joltooth. Holding the Ancient Essence for now. I'll probably switch to Power Cuffs because, well, might as well bump up Thunderclap. Why not? Pure Brawny. With Ambush, it's rocking Primal Slash, Thunderclap, Bulk Up, and Bane of Haste. Bane of Haste lets it, since they got that stat change, it's actually bulky enough to set up Bane of Haste for itself to abuse against faster teams with, like, Garlash, Zulong, that kind of stuff. And, yeah, Bulk Up can help set it up and do some damage against the opposing team. And, stat-wise, 104 speed lets us outspeed stuff like, Zero Speed Stratosaur and, like, Eliguana. Maybe Eliguana, I don't remember for sure. 32 range defense lets us get 1 point higher in the range defense, so Protagon doesn't get a range attack boost. 200 attack for max damage. 12 energy lets me get off 5 attacks if I'm not running Power Cuffs, but I'm too lazy to change it for when I am running Power Cuffs. And then 152 HP is the remainder there. So yeah, if this faints, I can bring in Plunderer and then have Ambush Plunderer. So normal swap-ins like Valkyrie take like 40% from Cerebral Slash at that point. Eclipse takes about half from a Meteor Smash. Protagon takes about half. So there we go. We get some damage out even against the things that resist on the swap. And moving on, we have Duality, the Eclipse. There was a bat outside my window. It's totally not like 4 a.m. when I'm recording this. Frail Tender, very smart. Total Eclipse with the Light Essence. Yeah, it's Total Eclipse. Luminous Roar, Gamma Pulse, Raging Howl, Disperse. Luminous Roar actually hits Cosmiore for super effective damage, so that's fun. Gamma Pulse for what? Stuff like the bugs, so that they don't resist Luminous Roar, and Raging Howl if I just need to throw that off for some reason. And then Disperse can set myself up. Moving on, the TPs are simply 200 speed, 200 range attack, max. 84 energy lets me throw off 5 Gamma Pulses or Luminous Roars, and then 16 HP is the remainder. So this is a very offensive Eclipse. We don't really care too much about the bulk. I chose Tender over Foolish so that Protagon doesn't get a range attack boost. And then, of course, if this faints, we can pass Total Eclipse, and this thing's weak to Dark. So we could just remove an immunity. That makes things like Metronet fodder, Vesperatu fodder, Ursel fodder. And, yeah. So, yeah, that could be a very nice ability for Plunderer here. It could also help with things like Garlash, which this team doesn't have an immediate switch into. So I could just, pivot in to Eclipse, hit Garlash, sack it to the Garlash, bring Plunder in, and now I'm immune to Mega Chomp. So that's cool. Up next, we got Greedy the Borok. Very brawny, clumsy, sluggish, holding the energy orb. I could give it an Earth Essence, but we'll see based on how the battles go. It's boast. I mean, you gotta be greedy and get as much. Okay, the issue has been resolved. Earthquake, Mega Chomp, Raging Tackle, Quick Pounce, that's the standard Borok moveset. You know, just maximum coverage, maximum damage. TPs, I'm not running any speed, I don't care about speed. 200 HP because bulk. 200 attack because damage. 44 energy lets me throw lets me throw off 5 earthquakes in conjunction with energy orb. I might not care about this and just run Earth Essence anyway and just put it into defense, but for now we'll see how this goes. And then 56 melee defense is a leftover. I mean, if Protagon wants to come in and get a range attack boost, it's going to do it anyway. And yeah, this boy just hits really freaking hard, and if it dies, Plunderer gets Boast, and here with Boast, I have a base 134 melee attack stat. So basically, I can get a Boast boost on anything with very brawny up to like Ursel. I'll get a Boast boost on Ursel. And then, what's stuff that can lower my Boast? Very brawny Tatab, very brawny Trumbull. Actually, no, just Brawny Trumbull, because we have the same attack stat. And then Kirillin with Brawny or Very Brawny can lower my attack stat. Otherwise, I'm going to get an attack boost. So this should be pretty easy to get an attack boost off with Boast. And then, of course, you have a +1 134 base attack thing thrown off a 90 power move. That's going to do some damage. And, yeah, so there you go. Up next, we got Aminamanemone. The Luminami. Now, it changed personality from the last time I've used this. It's brawny, robust, very sluggish. This time, very sluggish. Just it's the one that has 0 speed, so I'm using it. Mysterious Dust, just in case we catch a poison from something like Garbantus or Blowtox. And, of course, Power Napper is the best ability of choice here. Hydra / Mega Chomp, Sleet Shot, Flash, and Flee. Now, since it's melee-oriented, Hydra / Mega Chomp makes sense. Sleet Shot is because this team is pretty darn weak to Garbantus, and I just want to deal with it efficiently there. And then, of course, Flash and Flee so I can pivot, bring stuff in, and whatnot. TPs, 176 HP, maximizes Power Napper. 200 defense, max defense, I mean, pretty obvious. 88 attack. Actually, 36 energy. I had this written down somewhere, but I've forgotten since then. But it works with these moves, so... And then the rest go into attack, which, funny enough, I used to have range defense in here, but I moved it to attack because if a Tyrex comes in and terrifies me, Hydra Slash doesn't always hit the scapegoat, but with this investment it actually does. It can break the scapegoat every time, so Tyrex cannot attempt to set up on Luminam. And yeah. And then of course if this faints, the Power Napper ain't going anywhere. We can bring in Power Napper if we're, like, we can get a little bit more greedy with the bulk ups. If we get really low on HP, we could just swap out, we'll come back with more HP later. So yeah, don't worry, Power Napper won't go to waste. Up next, we got Brittany. Brittany makes her return here with the Heavy Shackles, very clever, frail, and sluggish. Rockin' Devious. This time, instead of Power Focus, I'm running Mud Spatter. This will help with even more speed control. Barter, just in case there's something, you know, I want to put a Shackles on. And then Adaptive Assault, Rejuvenate are pretty self-explanatory. Set didn't change from last time. Max, Bulk, HP, and range defense. The energy lets me throw off... well, it's kind of skewed now with Mud Spatter over Power Focus, but I could still get 2 Rejuvenates and then these moves off if I need to. And then the rest goes into melee defense, because where else is it going to go? And then, of course, Devious isn't even a bad ability for Plunderer here to have. If you have something like Garbantus or Spreezy, is there anything else? There might be something else. Nothing off the top of my head, but yeah, those abilities. Or actually, if I'm devious and I'm coming across another one of this thing's forms, you know, the encased or cracked forms, devious bypasses the enchanted code, and I can hit them for full damage. So yeah, I can hit Spreezy for full damage, I can hit Garbantus for full damage, and then opposing Cosmiores for full damage. So devious isn't even a bad ability here. And then finally we have Redwoods, the Chartiki. Very frail, smart, clever, holding the Volcanic Ash, Noxious Weeds, Fire Breath, Muck Blast, Barter, Rejuvenate, and this spread is something I ran a very long time ago, but it still works because the main reason I'm using this is because 1, I need Icicle Trap removal, and 2, Protogon wrecks me otherwise, so there we go. Now, this doesn't have this ability isn't good for Plunderer, but, you know, 5 out of 6 is good enough, right? And, but yeah, this meant to take ranged hits from stuff like Valkyrie, Protogon, potentially to Clips, if need be. And then, of course, I can barter stuff, you know, mess with their items, give something of Volcanic Ash, and ruin their day, potentially. And, yeah, that's what this boy's here to do. And, yeah, that's basically the team. The team here is just throw abilities at this thing. You know, Ambush broken, Total Eclipse broken, Boast broken on this, Power Napper broken, Devious good enough, but this also removes Poison Barb, so that's cool. And yeah, and then Chartiki's there. So yeah, like I said, this team's pretty darn weak to Garbantus, and on paper this is weak to Garlash, but if I see a Garlash, I'm probably just gonna bring to Clips and sack it off. Do some damage to it, of course, but then sack it off and then bring in Plunder and then problem solved. This team can also struggle with Valkyrie. These two don't outspeed it and can get schmacked pretty hard. This is weak to it. This isn't invested in range defense. This doesn't really do anything to it. I could potentially Shackles it so that these two aren't outsped by it. Valkyrie resists both of these, so yeah, it could be problematic. So Garbantus and Valkyrie are probably the biggest threats to this team. But let me know your thoughts on the team. Is this something you would use? Yeah, to me, I feel like this is going to be very fun. Another thing you could do if you don't want to run potentially Boast, if you want to go for some more, you know, spicy strats. I also wanted to run the Spice, but I felt like Borok is a good fit here. But you could actually slot in an Overshadow Umbrat. And then instead of Hypnotize, you can rock Ill Will or Headbutt. And then if Umbrat goes down, you can rock Overshadow, Ill Will, or Headbutt. And that'll 1, hit Valkyrie for super effective, and 2, hit to Clips, who resists your moves otherwise. And, yeah, that's fun. It actually gives you, like, perfect neutral coverage, I believe. Unless there's, like, a bug metal out there that I'm forgetting about. But, yeah. That's the team. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, because it does help me out. And if you're excited, looking forward to the battle videos coming up after this, basically, like, throughout the week, make sure you subscribe and have notification bells turned on so you don't miss the next upload. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you all have a good day, morning, night, afternoon, whatever. See ya.